Welcome to 5 Star Weekly. 4 points on the homestand so far. What do we need to do to utilize the bends to get 3 more points this weekend? We're getting all that more coming up. Before we get into it, become part of the notification squad by hitting the bell next to the subscribe button on YouTube. Welcome to the show, 5 Star fam. I'm AJ, and this is Michael. And Atlanta United drew 1-1 to FC Dallas over the weekend. We'll have that match review very shortly, but first off, shouts out to our loyal Patreon fam, of course, and most notably Gavin, Jordan, Niall, Andrew, Chris, Nick, and Jeff. Thank you guys so much as always. But yes, so the FC Dallas match where, it's we just didn't have enough goals in us. I feel like it was something that's very frustrating. We couldn't kill this game. We had some chances to do so. We couldn't do the job. But obviously it was a must win. I would feel like it was a game that had everything for the taking for Atlanta United. We needed to get the 3 points, not only for this match, but pretty much 3 points for the entire homestand. And it's fallen short. Now we've only gotten 4 points out of 6. We have some very tough road games ahead of us. So, yeah. Is it for you the same? Do you feel like it is a very big missed opportunity for us to have not gotten 6 of 6 so far on this homestand?
Yeah, I think it is. Granted, Dallas has had incredible away form so far this season, with 2 wins and 2 draws only and no losses. So, props to them. That's hard to do in MLS, or especially early in the season. But this was a team that could be gotten after. I think when we're firing on all cylinders, we can beat this team. Even with, Lucho Acosta running around. I think we were able to kind of pin him down, and for the most part, unfortunately, he still got an assist. Can't fully pin him down, but at least he didn't score, right? But we could have beaten this team, like you had talked about earlier, if we had shut the door, killed the game off with one of the many chances that we are ruining. Those teasing crosses that were met by no one on our team multiple times. That's how you let a team come right back into the game and steal 2 points from you when you should have had all 3. I think we played good enough to win that game, and it just was unfortunate that our players, the attacking portion at least, was not on the same page, and hopefully that can get congealed as we further go into the season.
Right. I mean, and we started this match with a starting 11 that was pretty short in terms of who we were available, at least had available in defense as well. I mean, you basically had Edwards filling in at left back. You had Luis Abram instead of Derek Williams. You also were missing Alexei Moranchuk, and it was definitely, you had Silva on the left, you had Miggy in the middle. It looked definitely less crowded, less players in the same positions, on the pitch, or in the same zones, and Saba, on the right. And at times, it looked like it was something that, this looks like exactly what we needed to do to create the right space for these players. Tristan Muyumba had a really good match as well, but it's one of these things where you have to be clinical, and I mean this team, it's kind of been the case for a lot of years now. We are not a clinical bunch, and until we, I think, bring in some players that besides Emmanuel Latte Lath, that are, I mean, it's really going to be an issue. And, I think it's also it's kind of interesting, like the midfield pairing as well. Obviously Schließ was in there from the start. It seemingly was kind of because of the a bit of what was going on, kind of some rotation as well. But Maranchuk not being in the game, do you feel like it really opened it up for Miggy, or do you feel like we actually did need Maranchuk?
I mean, in replacing his spot like for like, I think Miggy did well, if not better, than if Maranchuk was there. So where does that leave Maranchuk? A lot of people are saying when he came back into the game, when he was subbed in later on, it changed our complexion. We looked, like he was, the metronome keeping us together. I'm not so sure I was on that same page, but I still think that perhaps he could be played at a more deep-lying playmaking role, maybe at like an 8 or a 6 or something. Seeing like, Tristan as like a 6 and him and Maranchuk as an 8 would be very interesting to me. Not that that's probably even realistic in any degree, but seeing Tristan just run everything down, like he's been doing an amazing job on defense, not just in the attack when he's out there. So, that was just a thought I had that would be kind of interesting. Maranchuk, not necessary, it seems like, for us to be at the 10. I don't know if the reason why we didn't win that game is because we lacked him. I thought we were able to create chances. I thought we had our opportunities, but us not being clinical is not like Maranchuk was the guy who's supposed to be there to receive those far post hits or something. He's never that guy. So I don't really know why we think he would have changed things too much.
Yeah, it is. I think when we brought him on, it was we were trying to continue to try to create some more chances, make some things happen. Because at that point, let's get to the goals first. I think that probably will tell the story for those that kind of want more of the recap part of it. But basically, the chance that we got for the penalty, Shande Silva. Well, he picked up a loose ball in the middle of the pitch. He looped the ball over the Dallas defense. Emmanuel Latte Lath. He got on the end of it with his run, and he brought the ball down, put a body on his defender, who, pretty much fouled him, brought him down in the box, and Miguel Almiron steps up. Usually, it seems like it would be Maranchuk if he was in the match. I would be also interested if, say, Emmanuel Latte Lath, took the penalties too. But
I was expecting him to, but yeah.
Yeah, but either way, Miggy, he always goes bottom left, and he went bottom left, and the keeper dove the right way, but was not able to save it. And back-to-back goals for Miguel Almiron, and so definitely very good. That is gonna up his confidence for sure. And so in that sense, I feel like letting Miggy take it, I think does help in a lot of regards, because he'll feel productive, all that. But it was his 23rd MLS regular season goal, and that mark ties him with Thiago Almada for the second most in club history. And so definitely, that's funny. It's just kind of an irony there. With Almada being the second most. And then, of course, Jose Martinez has 98. So it's very far away. No one's catching him in some time. But Latte Lath maybe, if he sticks around for, some years. But
I'm not sure if he's like old enough to catch him. I mean, sorry. No, he might be too old to catch him.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Jose Martinez did a lot of that work in like 3 years. And
that's true.
The rest of it was like, okay, he added a little bit, but I mean, obviously the 31 goal season, and then I think 21, I believe, before that, that definitely helps a good bit. But and so I think there were a good number of moments where we really could have kind of broken this game open, but 1-0 at the break. I mean, pretty good looking, in terms of attack, but yeah, Dallas kind of figured out a way to get back into this match. Lucho Acosta kind of playing, oddly enough, it seemed like people were pointing out that he was playing more on the left a little bit, even though he was playing at the tip of that diamond midfield, and where they also had two strikers up top. It seems like, he was just more fluid with his movement than we would usually see him, which is probably more in the 10, the second striker position, where it probably actually helped us, because if he was in the box more, I would have shuddered, I think, a lot more. And it is that we're trying to essentially after their goal, which it's just one of these goals that we just continue to kind of make kind of similar kind of mistakes, and we just cannot excise these things from our game. And no matter who's in, I mean, like, Gregerson's in, and he blocks the first attempt, but right at him, Musa, he is able to get that goal, and it's just Acosta doesn't really get the assist, but I mean, it's pretty much, because of his work that that goal happens. But
I mean, I think they did grant him the assist, even though, you're right.
Yeah, but I see that it wasn't, but
okay, maybe it wasn't.
But
maybe I heard wrong.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, we look like kind of a team that's is maybe too reliant on a few things, even though I think maybe we should really try to, especially if Saba's on the right, which, I mean, it looked really, really good on the right again, but it's just a matter of the right type of balls, the type of service for Emmanuel Latte Lath to score as many goals as possible. I mean, are we going to be reliant? Maybe, but so far the other people are not clinical, and so it's just, at this point, feed your man in the box, and it's just one of those, I don't know, I think LA United left goals and points on the table here, but let's sum up this match. What are your final thoughts on this match?
Like I said, I agree with you 100%. We left points on the table. I think we should have won this game. The statistics kind of bear that out as well. I think we made enough chances to score more goals than they did. They only had like one or two good chances, and of course they score on it, right? We had a lot, and we just, like you said, not clinical. So we need to figure that out, solve that sooner than later, and unfortunately, that just takes time and practice, which these games and during the week, they have those. So hopefully, they can start stitching it together. I kind of expected it to have been stitched together at least a little bit better by now, but 7 games in, you miss, you're hitting crosses consistently to nobody in a game. In 7 games in, people are like, just give it time. I get that, but that shouldn't be really happening at that rate anymore. I feel like that's after 3 or 4 games, okay guys, maybe let's stop doing that. Let's figure out why that's happening and make that stop. Not just errantly hitting the multiple times. Obviously we're trying to do something here, and there's just no possible way anything could come of it, because guys are not picking their heads up, they're not noticing, no one's making a run, and they hit it there anyway. It's frustrating, to say the least, and that needs to be primary thing number 1 to work on in training and reviewing tape from here on out, because our attack is supposed to be our greatest asset, and we need to get it dialed in. So this type of nonsense doesn't happen, because it's just silly. It's embarrassing when the guy runs all the way down, puts all of his effort in, hoofs across all the way, and there's just literally no one there. It's like, what are we doing?
So, and yeah. I think you're right. I think there's also the other added part is that we're not committing enough men forward, and not enough players are making enough of the brave runs. And yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I think the player that's putting in the ball, they're doing what they need to do here. Sometimes you can't really always, aim it for, someone. Sometimes you kind of have to just put it in the mixer, which, you don't want to do that every single time. But yeah, you got to have some players that are going to take that chance, gamble, and okay, like still have the safety net in the back in order to, prevent yourself from, being easily countered, of course. But
yeah, crash the net. Where are the second and third runners? Like,
exactly.
It never happens.
Yeah, we're a team that's usually very bereft of a third man run. That's there's, signs of it early on in the first match against CF Montreal. Yeah, you saw Miggy running with Latte Lath, running with Saba. That's great, but we're seeing a little less of that, I think, recently. Whether that's energy levels, whether that's fatigue, whether that's them trying to figure out how to, maybe be in different zones or whatever. But still, it's something that the players. It doesn't always just have to be the attackers, though. Like, yeah, we need some of those midfield runners, and that's really what it is. Those third man run are those midfielders that stay back a little bit, and then yes, maybe it is that pullback, and that pullback usually can unsettle a defense. So, it's not always, just pumping it into the back post. Yes, there are those different types of service that we're just not doing. Like, it really is. We're just, it's a little too predictable at times, and I think that's kind of one of the.
And clearly, if no one is home multiple times, maybe try something else.
Yeah, indeed. But so we'll wrap a bow on this match, and our next match will be against New England Revolution on Saturday, and we'll have that preview later on for you in this episode. But Dyla, he did mention that the players are disappointed. They should have killed the game earlier, he said. Noted he sees improvement, but is frustrated not to win this game. And also said the midfield and defense do well, controlling the tempo, wants to see them believe in themselves a bit more. And that's exactly what it is. That's them committing themselves forward and really trying to be, courageous. Crash the box. Make those runs. But, let's wrap that up. Let's get into the news. And it's a light bit of news this week, but Dominique Chong-Qui, he was signed to a homegrown contract before the match, and he will be signed throughout the 2028 MLS season with an option for 2029. Ronnie Dyla also has mentioned that he sees a big future ahead of Chong-Qui, but yeah, it's obviously we didn't really use him for this match in that sense. He did come on later, but I think it's still, without Amador, you'll probably see Chong-Qui a lot more. He also ran out of essentially, being able to make the appearances, from being an Atlanta United 2 player, essentially. And so, definitely we do need that depth. And yeah, I think there are some moments I think he'll see some more time, but maybe starting might be a little bit, kind of not as soon, I would say. But Chong-Qui, any thoughts on him?
Dipping into our twos, taking some prime talent, from there to try and supplement our ranks is nice to see, instead of us just going out and grabbing someone else and then neglecting what we have going on. Coming up through the ranks, so that's always good to see, going in-house instead of going out. Just happy to see that, and he looks promising. He's he's running with the big dogs now, and he's for the most part holding his own. He's only, kind of capitulating things that you'd expect him to at this point. And to be honest, I think he is punching a little bit over his weight class, so that's good to see. And I hope he just continues to improve and he starts to skyrocket, and he can just not only just run with the big dogs, he can outrun them, and he can actually really put his mark on this team and this league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely has the physicality. He looks like he's got some of the ball playing ability as well. It's just a matter of kind of putting it all together and cutting
he's
out the
just so
mistakes.
young, so it's like this is going to take a while.
Right. And so, the very fact that he's already broken into the first team at his tender age is pretty incredible. So, those fans that are, saying, oh, I never want to see him on the pitch again, it's just like, man, you have to take it into context. Like, he's a player that is absolutely still learning his trade.
Yeah. And every MLS team has players like this. It's part of the design, roster construction, so it's not as if, oh man, we should have just picked up Messi instead of Chunkwe. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't have Messi at every single position. And there's only one Messi. But, so let's get to Atlanta United 2, and they hosted Inter Miami CF2 on a multi-day, multi-venue affair, winning 3-2 in the first win of the MLS Next Pro season. Moises Tablante and Luke Brennan scored their first goals of the season, and academy player Gabriel Wesse made his professional debut. And then, because of kind of a rain delay and all that, it kind of had to finish in closed indoor match at Mercedes-Benz Stadium later on Monday. So, definitely a weird one. But they return to action on Thursday, April 10th, against Philadelphia Union 2 at Subaru Park. And so, best of luck to them. But, that does it for the news. Real brief one this week. It seems, it's like very light on news this season in terms of in between games. But, let's get into the mailbag. And you guys send in these questions through Discord and IG story. Please continue to do so, and we might answer your question in the future. But first question comes from Greatest Josh Cohen fan. Revs have scored 0 open play goals this season. Will they get their first? I guess we put on your Nostradamus hat here.
I mean, it feels like to me that we're a team that gives out firsts a lot. And so that would, it almost seems like we can't really keep a clean sheet either. So far be it from me to say it's impossible Carlos Heel doesn't just do something stupid and just get like a worldie or whatever, like set piece goal or something. Like it's possible. I don't think the trend indicates that that's likely to happen. I don't think that they will end their drought on us, but unfortunately, with a player like him, anything's possible.
It is true, and there is that aspect does happen where it's like probably some homegrown player getting their first minutes, and they score. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
We're great at being a team to get the monkey off of another team's back. We've done it so many times, it's frustrating.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe if they get there first, but we at least can win the game, then okay. No harm done, I suppose, except for the lack of a clean sheet. But next question comes from Grego. Who scores first at home before May, Revs or Leicester? That's funny. I don't know. I think it might be Revs because Leicester, but. Yeah, I don't know. You have any thoughts there?
Not really.
Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, it has nothing to do with Atlanta United, so oh well. But also lighter than questions this week, so it is what it is. But yes, next question comes from Beerus Alvanado. Does Muyumba deserve to be a captain after his recent performances? He's been fire. I
don't think that's how you decide captains. So probably disabuse yourself of that idea. I don't think that that's something you're gonna see happen a lot, but usually it's like over tenure, over experience, and things like that is what you get captainship for. So I don't see him getting captain anytime soon. But you're right, he did have let's be real, he had a really good form of games. He's doing very well. It's a kind of a Tristan, renaissance going on right now. This is, reminders of what he was like when he first got here. Just he was scoring. He was part of that exciting attack that was lighting it up. That game against Miami comes to mind at home. It seems like Tristan might be back to his old self. Maybe previous season he was nursing an injury, kind of like how Jande was. He had that foot thing, and he just wasn't himself like an entire season long. Could be the same thing with Tristan. Maybe now he's back and he's better.
Yeah, maybe a Muyumba sans, if you will. But it's, I don't know. Definitely, obviously, Ronald Hernandez, Brooks Lennon probably are the next shouts for captain in terms of at least tenure. But as far as I think what most people would want to see is probably Miguel Miron probably pick up that that armband if it's not Brad Guzan. So I don't know if Muyumba's next on that hierarchy. But speaking of, so Garrett Kane asks, should we keep Miggy in as the cam or move him back on the wing?
At this point, I don't really. I mean, yeah, because if you put him in cam, you have to displace Moranchuk then, and I'm not opposed to him being a more deep lying playmaker role. And if that's the way Ronnie wants to go and experiment that way, I'm down for it and see what it looks like. Because honestly, like Mateusz Klich has not really impressed so far for me. Slish also hasn't super impressed so far for me. So if they want to putz around in the back and mix things up and see what happens, I'm all for a little experimentation to see what our potentially ideal starting 11 could evolve to be this season.
Yeah, I mean, it is that. It's like if the team's not performing week in, week out, then you have to mix up some stuff and see what's going to stick. And yeah, I mean, it just makes the team deeper in that sense if you have competition for places. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, if Miggy is best served at the 10 and we are winning games, I don't care who's playing where at that point. It's just, are we getting results? Are players, is the product on the pitch enjoyable to watch? Okay, all right. That's bare bones is what, kind of expectations at least there. But yeah, thanks for sending in those questions, guys. And yes, please continue to do so. We might answer your question in the future. But let's get to the match preview. So 2:45 p.m. on Saturday, we've got New England Revolution at the Benz. Is a very early one. And so yeah, those who are planning to do a little partying, it's going to be a long day. But okay. It'll be 5 o'clock when the game ends. So, it's at the very least,
Atlanta's here for it, though. We love to party, so.
Indeed. I mean, it is the weekend, so, at that point, it doesn't really matter, I guess, right? But the Revolution are in 13th place with a -4 goal difference. We are in 10th. And the last match we played against them was a 2-1 loss against them on July 4th in 2024. And the Revolution just played to a 0-0 draw versus Nashville. But yes,
that was a game where we gifted Carlos Heel 2 goals or something, right?
I think so. Yeah,
that was so frustrating. Oh my goodness. Hopefully that's how we lose. By the way, it's just doing that. So hopefully we don't do that again.
Yep. Hopefully we have learned from the past haunts of last year. But so far, well, no, not so far, but in our last 6, it's been a little dire. We have 1 win against them, 2 draws, 3 losses. So, Revolution kind of have our number at the moment. But yeah, they pretty much did a whole overhaul of the roster. Center backs, fullbacks, midfielders, forward, wingers, everywhere. And Caleb Porter, yeah, pretty much has some clarity of kind of how this roster is going to look, but not working out so far. It seems like they're also having a bit of growing pains as well. And, of course, though, Carl Seal, Matt Polster are still with them. But notably, key departures from last year, Arriaga, I'm going to butcher this name, but Bajraktovic, Barrero, Mark Anthony Kay, Dave Romney, and Veroni, all gone. Of course, Leonardo Campana, he has joined them from Inter Miami, and Caballero as well has joined them. If my screen will stop turning to black, Ile Feingold and Mamadou Fofana as well have joined them in the off season here, as well as Ganago and Jackson Ewell. But yeah, so as far as kind of Campana being the tip of the spear there, and Carl Seal kind of being their talisman, it's still a little bit, yeah, they're figuring stuff out. And
Mio hasn't been playing for them, right?
Yeah, and there's that. But the as far as the pundits and what they've predicted them to finish, it pretty much is exactly where they're at right now, which is as low as 13th, as high as 5th. That's Antonella Gonzalez, but most people have them 10th or lower. So yeah, it makes sense. I think the talent in this team is maybe there, but the chemistry is obviously not. But last season they were 14th in the Eastern Conference. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Caleb Porter, a very, very good coach, but yeah, just kind of hasn't been able to put it together in a sense so far, being their head coach. But yeah, as far as kind of their strengths, they're not a ton. They are a team that you can press pretty well against. They pretty much keep a consistent first 11, so you kind of know what to expect with them. But yeah, they're not very strong aerially. They're not very strong at defending set pieces. They don't really finish their scoring chances very well. And against counterattacks, they are very weak. So it's a team that seems rife for the taking for Atlanta United. But, there is this too. These match facts, at least from who scored, kind of really good in terms of if you look at it, look at kind of what they're saying. So the Revolution have been drawing at halftime and losing at full time in 5 of the last 7 matches. Revolution have also lost 8 of their last 10 matches in MLS. And LA United have seen over 2.5 goals in their last 6 matches against New England Revolution in all competitions. So there will be goals. But, whether we will be winning is another thing, because no idea. We keep kind of dropping points against Revolution, at least in our recent history. But the odds say that a home win will be at 65.4%. A draw will be at 23.8%. And Revolution have a 17.4% chance of winning. So it's overwhelming betting odds here. But the real question is who's going to be available to a degree, because Pedro Amador, Derek Williams, they were out with quad and hamstring injuries respectively. Will they be available? Whew, I hope so. But if
Williams
not,
has been having a rough form of games too.
Yeah. And so, yeah, a hamstring probably will take a little bit of time, I feel like, as well. But we shall see. And Edwin Mascara, of course, with the ankle is still kind of recovering from that. So let's get into that predicted starting 11. Guzan between the sticks, obviously. But, at fullback, are you rolling the die? What are you thinking?
So Matt Edwards has done really well in, left fullback. So I'd actually go with him again.
Okay. So yeah, Lennon, Edwards. If you can't do Amador, Edwards, who's played some left back, kind of inverted left back as well at college. So nothing too new. It seems like he's played across the back line. I think that's what it is like he, from a defensive standpoint, seems solid. It's just those moments where, there are some blood, rushes of blood to the head, maybe. And, unfortunately, that happens with, inexperienced players at times. But, Gregerson, obviously, if he's healthy, and which it seems like he is. But Williams, that's a great question. If he is,
Amador has already kind of won the spot back based on his previous performances.
Abram.
Abram. He's been phenomenal. So I'm a big critic of him, of Abram. So that means a lot when I say, hey, I'm giving him the look for starting in this game.
Yeah. Okay. So, obviously it's between them two. If, Williams isn't healthy, and if it's Abram, then so be it. I see what you're saying, but I think it's relative for me.
Mm-hmm.
Abram has just been better than what he has been. And so it's okay. I think for that, okay, if it's, we have to start him, so be it. But do I feel like there are much better center backs in this league? Yeah, but it is what it is.
Yeah, if you're like, should we play him or compare him to another center back in the league? Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely want to kind of move on from him.
Yeah. In
general, but what we have right now is a decision about either him or Noah Cobb, I guess.
Right, Noah Cobb or Efrain Morales, and both of them I think can deputize really well. I think I'd almost want to kind of get them more minutes to really see how they can develop. But it's one of those things too. Miles Robinson, he really developed while playing for the twos, and so I think there is a bit of that as well. But I think the real question is, what are we going to do in midfield? What do you got?
I'm trying to think. I don't think this is the game to experiment necessarily. Even though I kind of wish they would just kind of pull the Band-Aid off if indeed they're going to do that. But like we talked about in the past, I don't think Ronnie is so, gung-ho about going okay, let's throw away the system that I was trying to build and try something new all of a sudden, or something like that, or completely switch up my talisman players to different positions on the field. I'm not so sure that he's going to be willing to do that just yet. So I think we'll probably see what he's used to, what he is, putting his trust in. Normally if Mateusz Klich and Schleich are available, he usually runs those. But I just feel like you gotta put Tristan in, considering what he has done recently and the form he's in. You have to give Tristan the look. So I'm definitely gonna put Tristan in, and I guess he's probably gonna put Schleich in as well.
Yeah, it makes the most sense. It really does. For the same reasons that you mentioned. Obviously, Klich hasn't really. Pun intended, hasn't clicked yet. And it's because of his health. It's because of a little bit of his form too. But I think he's a very tidy player if he's on song. It's just a matter of he just can't really get a run of games at the moment. And so, you play the hot hand. I think Muyumba has earned the minutes. And Schleich obviously is the, kind of the guy for defensive midfield, even though... Yeah, I would like to see Fortune a little bit more. He seems kind of the to some varying degrees from a not only athletic standpoint, but from sometimes I feel like an awareness standpoint, defensive awareness. I think he puts out some more fires than Schleich is capable of at times.
Which is crazy to me. Like,
yeah.
Schleich was like brought in to be like a high level player to really lock down the sixth position, and sometimes he's doing that and he does it well, but it's, to me, not consistent enough. And when it's not good, it's really not good.
Yeah.
And I feel like the 6 and the 8 position, for the way our team plays, has to be rock solid every single game, week in, week out, or you're gonna have no shielding for the defense. You're not going to be able to stitch together, building out the back. You're not going to be able to have any kind of cohesiveness. And that's exactly what we've been seeing for forever.
Yeah.
So like I'm a little bit like, again, and this is something you and I have talked about for forever. Like, if we had a DP in that area of the field, like, because we basically did when we had Nagby there, like, we're hyper spoiled in that regard. I feel like we wouldn't be seeing anywhere close to this amount of, difficulty that we've had. Obviously, because there'd be a DP there now. But I feel like Schleich just isn't quite at the level I would like someone to be at that, maybe not a DP, but just a different player that can just play it, like it maybe has a different profile or what have you. But for whatever it is, I don't think Schleich is consistent enough, and it sucks for me. I really hate to say this because I think Schleich, will bleed for the badge. I think the guy loves being here and playing on this team, and he gives it his all, and you can tell. But it just, I'm not sure it's going to work out long term.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a lot to prove still, because it's the on the ball ability. I think it's the staying cool in kind of heated moments. I mean, obviously he's had some big moments for us, and he's worn the armband as well. But there's just some moments where you just don't feel the safest with him, in possession. And then also, like sometimes, defensively as well. But it's not the end of the world there as far as defensively.
I'll say this. Just to put a button on it from my point of view.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I need to be a little bit more supportive of him, is that I think he's definitely, he's absolutely probably even a little bit above serviceable in the MLS. Like maybe in that 60 to 70 percentile of sixes in MLS, which is good. You want at least that, right? But I feel like championship teams and really high level teams, they have like 75 and up percentage type players at that role, that in that percentile. I feel like that is almost a necessity to do very well. I'd be interested to see like some analysis on that at some point, like a quantitative in some way, to see like if that hypothesis bears fruit in any way. But I would put money on it. I just feel like it. I mean, you just look at Darlington Abbey. Wherever he goes, his team becomes immediate cup contenders.
Yeah.
Like, I would wager if you have a player of his ilk or his level.
There's only one
all the
Darlington
other
Nagby,
teams.
though.
Sorry?
There's only one Darlington Nagby, though.
Right, but I mean, I'm sure, like, because you're never going to get that again, right? But you'll get players who can do good facsimiles of him, impersonations, and they exist in this league as well. So, like, you can find them. They won't be players operating at a DP level, not on the DP tag, though, unless you're like Miami or something. But, you can find like a TAM player at that role who really is deserving of that title of, targeted allocation money, like a very high expenditure player. I'm sure you could find something like that. And I would imagine that all of the very best teams that are consistently good have a guy like that who's consistently performing at like the 75 percentile and above in the league for that role. That's my guess.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the unsung type of players usually on teams, is that you need to have a really good midfield in order to win stuff usually. And yeah, if you don't have that, well, yeah, either that or you just have some forwards that are constantly being fed, whether through long balls and the midfield just being bypassed completely. But I mean, yeah, usually it's because, you know, your midfield is stitching everything together, and it's kind of unseen a little bit. But yeah, so let's get into the attacking midfield then. So, you know, I think pretty much by what you're saying, I would assume that, you know, you would have Moranchuk, Miggy, Saba, or would you have something different?
Yeah, Moranchuk at the 10, Miggy on the wing, Saba on the wing, and ELL at the top.
At the top. Would you have Miggy on the left or the right?
I want to see him on the left. I want to see Saba on the right because they've found joy in those positions. But again, that'll be my hope and guess that that'll be the setup. But like I said, I think Ronnie is not yet ready to change things up too much. So maybe the inverted wingers, we continue with that. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's that, or they can be, you know, more fluid and switch wings as well during the match, but then still have their defensive assignments. But yeah, Miggy did play a lot more on the left this past match. He has played there for Paraguay as well. Saba obviously has looked like a, you know, kind of man renewed on the right as well. So I would probably suggest that they play as kind of more traditional wingers and really just try to feed Emmanuel Latte Lath to really try to give him as much service as possible. But what do you guys think?
And then Emmanuel Latte Lath and maybe even Tristan Muyumba, Moranchuk, crash the damn box.
Yeah.
Like, screw it. Send the fullbacks in. Just get people in the box. Run in there. Like, I don't care if we get hit on the counter. If I want to see people flying to try and score a darn goal, that's what I want to see. That'll be exciting to me. Even if we lose like 3-0 to New England, but we tried to do that and we like keep practicing that, and eventually we get really good at it and become, you know, an incredibly exciting and dangerous team that way. That's what I want to do, because I feel like that should be the way forward with an attack like we have.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got a lot of players that I think can put the ball in the back of the net, but they're just, yeah, a little reticent to actually take the chance. So, yep. I agree. But, yeah, what do you guys think in terms of the starting 11? Let us know in the comments below. But, yes, let's get to the score prediction. What do you got?
I feel like I always say this, and I'm just going to keep saying it. I'm going to say 3-1 again. Okay. I wasn't right last time, but I was kind of almost right the other time, but still off. But I'm going to keep saying 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, that used to be
obviously.
That used to be a scoreline for us pretty often. I think in 2017 and 2018. But
I'm manifesting, AJ.
Yeah, hopefully, man. But I'm thinking one less goal, 2-1 win. It's a game that we should win, and hopefully we do get the 3 points. And if we do, 7 points out of 9 on the homestand, it could be a lot worse if it actually, you know, if we actually think about it. But so. Yeah, what do you guys think? Yes, get in those comments. But yeah, that pretty much does it for the episode, except for the question of the day. The question of the day is, should we prioritize getting Emmanuel Latte Lath as much service as possible? Let us know in the comments below. Looking forward to what you have to say. But guys, that is the episode there and there. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's been Michael. I've been AJ. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.